Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Guys, I am so excited for the amazing content that we have today. I have someone special in the studio with me. Like, guys, this is really unexpected. So, Gagi Bogaka, am I pronouncing it right? Did I
Right,
do
that's
well? Gagi, right?
yes.
So she watched the interview that I earlier shared on my channel. I think the one for Ugo, I'm assuming, right?
Right.
Okay, and so she reached out to me and said she'd love to share her story as well. So this is me using this opportunity to let you all know that if you have your story and you feel that that story can be encouraging, inspiring, and motivating for some other aspiring or current international student or immigrant, use that opportunity to do so on my channel. All you have to do is click the link in my description down below or send me an email or reach out to me on all of my social media platforms. And I'll definitely be willing and open to have you grace this channel and share that story to everybody. So today we're going to be discussing with she's amazing. She's a model. So she's somebody that speaks 5 different languages. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go further. Like this interview would be incomplete without her speaking those languages for us. But before we get into that, I'm going to read out a little bio about Gagi and get to have more conversation with her, ask her questions about her life, her journey here, what inspires her, the choice of major, the challenges that she's faced so far. Has she faced any racism or anything, any interesting story that she has? She's here to share it all. And if you have any questions as well, please leave them in the comments down below. And she'll be definitely willing to answer those questions as well. So let's read the bio. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes, of course.
So this is it. My name is Gagi Bogaka, and I'm a doctor by profession, born and raised in India. Oh my God, my India fans, if you're here, please, this is for you. If you're an Indian person, this is for you. Please, I need you to show her so much love in the comment section. I decided to migrate to the United States in 2019. I recently graduated from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Go Blazers! I describe myself as an introvert who loves being in the proximity of nature. Since a very young age, I was intrigued by the intricacies of the human body. I then decided to pursue medicine, and after I breezed through my exams, I got admission to my dream medical school. I have always been a good student at school, receiving the high school scholarship and then proceeding to be qualified for the young scientist practical course. Now I'm intimidated, to be honest. So let's go further. I have performed experiments at the BASF Kids Lab and interacted with scientists from Europe and America. My dream is to become a successful surgeon with immense knowledge about public health. I have always been a hardworking and a diligent student who loves to excel in everything. An interesting fact, I am a polyglot, guys. This is the part for me. This is actually a fun, interesting. We're coming to it, so don't worry. I speak 5 languages. Valeen, how many languages do you speak? I have also modeled when I was a medical student. I was crowned as Miss Beautiful International Model USA Division in 2020. That is amazing. We do have a lot to talk about. Like, we have so much to talk about, but I think what I found intriguing, I mean, everything that I just read is intriguing. You have so much to offer. You're a medical doctor. You came here. You've been receiving scholarship back in India and even in the United States of America. You've interacted with scientists from all over the world. You are a model. How do you even combine all of these things together? And you speak 5 languages. Go.
Well, I think that my parents had a major role in bringing me up. I think I could attribute to all these qualities to my upbringing because my parents have been academicians. My mom is a mathematician and my dad is a doctor. And I think they have had an immense influence on me ever since I was a child. So I was always encouraged to do my best in whatever I did. And I would just say that my parents were really strict with me when I was a kid, but I think that really helped in the long run.
Was there any time in your life you were like, oh my God, it's okay, guys, take it easy on me. I need to have some time for myself because you felt maybe your parents were just too strict on you? Was there ever a time, or you just feel like it paved out like, 100% perfectly, the way that you wanted it for yourself?
So I think, while there were times where I thought my parents could have been a little easy on me, but looking back, I think they just did the right thing for my own good. And they were not hard on me all the times. They also pampered me. They taught me what life is all about. And it wasn't just like scoring well in exams or studying. It was all about realizing what's the purpose of your life and what you can do for the society, for the underprivileged, for everyone who are not as lucky as you are. And they have always been philanthropists, and I think that's how I'm so compassionate, because whenever I used to roam about in the pediatrics ward, or especially in the cancer care ward, I always used to be so touched and moved to see the patients in that condition. And being a doctor, when you know that there's just a hairline difference between life and death, it's just natural for you to be more compassionate and sympathetic. So I think that it's because of my parents and also because of my profession that kind of shaped me into the person that I am today.
I
But
see that you're somebody who speaks from the heart. And when you mentioned the word compassionate, I could feel it. Like I knew that you were not just saying it, like because you're speaking to the camera. You embody that word. And it is not hard for you to notice when somebody is actually speaking to who they are, what they what they are and what they've become. And I find that really inspiring and really encouraging, because sometimes we feel like our parents are really so hard on us, but over time, if you look at things critically, you know that they are building us into becoming someone better, and they are preparing us for the future, because I mean they've gone through life and they understand it way better than we do. So yeah, knowing that it paved out and shaped you into becoming who you are is really something that I find absolutely amazing. But now let's move on to, how, you mentioned that you were raised by your parents, they were academicians and everything. Were you an only child, or you have siblings, or how was it like growing up in India? I really want to know what it is like. And I mean, someday I want to go to India.
oh, wonderful! You're always welcome to my country.
I love to
May
go.
not be at the moment because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
but once everything gets settled down, I would be so happy to welcome you to my country. So, speaking about my childhood, well, I'm the only child. And so I was pampered by my parents, and I'm really very close to my parents. My parents, they mean the world to me, and they are the blood in my veins, if that's how I wish to put it. So I think I had a pretty unconventional upbringing, because my parents, although they are Indians, especially my father, he is very progressive in his thoughts, and he was always influenced by the West. So he was sent to a preparatory military school where he had Scottish and English teachers to train him. So he was always very westernized in his approach. And so in that way, I would say my childhood was very unique. So right from my childhood, I was always fascinated with books and science. And when I was around 5 or 6 years old, I was actually interested in astronomy, because I was fascinated by stars and planets, and I wanted to buy a telescope and watch all the planets and see the night sky. But as I was growing up, I was constantly observing my dad, who is an inherent workaholic. And one day he was reading some notes and listening to lectures from the Princeton Review. And that just caught my eye. And I just sat next to him. I listened to some of the lectures. That's when I got introduced to biology and medicine. And over the years, as I got to know the intricacies of the human body and I understood the nobility of the medical profession, I made up my mind to become a doctor. I was just 9 years old at that time, but I just knew that this is my calling, and I want to be a doctor. My mother, who is a math professor, she tried to tell me how great it is to solve maths and calculus and trigonometry, and tried to convert me from a medical student to an engineering student, but her attempts kind of proved futile. And I just decided that no, I'm going to study medicine, and yeah, here I am today.
It
But
is absolutely amazing. So at 9, you already figured out what you wanted in life. who you wanted to become, what
Yeah.
profession you were going into?
Yes, pretty much at an early age. And but that wasn't it. My mom taught me a lot more different stuff like cooking, and she's also a very spiritual person, so that's why I have a strong spiritual base thanks to her. And she's also a humanitarian and a philanthropist, so she had a great influence on me. And she too is a polyglot. She speaks 3 or 4 languages, I suppose. So not foreign languages, but Indian languages and English. So I think she inspired me to be a polyglot, I would
So
say.
now, talking about being 5 different languages, please, can you tell us the languages that you speak? And we would love to hear you speak those languages, like say different things and interpret, tell us what they mean. And pretty much like every single one of them, take your time. Take your time, girl.
Sure. So the languages I speak are English, obviously, German, Marathi, which is my mother tongue, Hindi, which is the national language of India, and Sanskrit, which is the oldest language in India. Just like Latin, it's a dead language because it's very complex, but all the ancient scriptures in India are in Sanskrit. So Ayurveda, which is also a branch of medicine which deals with herbs, it is completely in Sanskrit. So that's these are the languages I know. And because of German, I just have a basic understanding of Dutch because all the Germanic Nordic languages are similar in some ways. And not yet, I haven't learned French as of now, but maybe sometime later in life I'm looking forward to learning French.
So yeah, I like you want to even learn more.
Just
Girl,
one, maybe, just one, or maybe two. I don't
one
know.
more? I don't think it's going to be one more. I think it's going to be more than one. Because from the look of things, it excites you. I think you're somebody who's inquisitive, you want to learn. And, that's an attribute of someone who's like, you never have it enough. You want to, keep learning, keep going, keep dipping, digging deep and furthering your knowledge. So that is amazing. But at this point, please, would like for you to speak these languages. Of course, you already have been speaking English, and I must say your English is amazing. Because you
Oh,
don't have like that accent. How did you get to the point where you can speak like clean, crisp English?
well, I think again I want to um, give a major credit to my parents because my dad he speaks English and he just doesn't speak English. I think his English is just impeccable, and I think I have always been an avid reader. I think that helped, and I've also taken the Trinity College of London tests, like the ESOL and the ETS tests, where there were Britishers who interviewed me. And so I had to speak with a specific accent and I had to know, a certain level of English in order to take those tests.
Mhm.
So I think that's just pretty much it. Well, which language do you want me to speak first?
I want you to speak let's choose. Okay, you already, English is done. So let's do Hindi.
Hindi.
Yeah.
ठीक है, तो हम अभी हिंदी में बात करेंगे। हिंदी ये भारत की राष्ट्रभाषा है और भारत की गौरवशाली है। तो मुझे हिंदी में बात करने में बहुत मज़ा आता है और अ, इन भारत में मे बी फ़िलहाल शायद सारे लोगों को हिंदी आता है और मुझे हिंदी लोगों से बहुत प्रेम है और मुझे बहुत अभिमान है कि मैं इंडिया से आई हूँ इंडिया यानी कि भारत. So that's about Hindi. Then I'll talk about Marathi, which is my mother tongue.
What did you just say?
So I just said that in Hindi is the national language of India, and I love the people who speak Hindi. I said most of the people in India they're able to speak Hindi, if not all, and I'm very proud to speak Hindi, and I'm very proud of the national language of India. That's what I just said.
Oh my
It
goodness.
is powerful, yeah, absolutely.
Have you considered being a motivational speaker or something? Because I think you have that in you. Have you done anything like that in the past?
I haven't really done anything like that in the past, and I haven't really considered being a motivational speaker. But who knows what can happen in the future, you know? Sometimes I tell you something, opportunities don't always knock on the door on your door. Sometimes they just whisper, and you need to know how to grab the right opportunity at the right time. So maybe in the future I could be a motivational speaker, who knows? Maybe when I'm done with residency and stuff like that. When I achieve something even more than what I already have, then maybe I could. There are people who ask me, Gargi, can you advise us on something? And I say, I rarely give advice. I mostly give suggestions.
Hmm.
That's just how I.
That's beautiful as well. So I know that, at this point we have a background as to who you are, your personality, what you love and why you do the things you do. But I really want to know, and I believe the people that are watching us right now would love to know, or who would be watching this in the future, they want to know why you migrated to the United States of America. When did you have that decision? When did that thought come in and why?
So I've always been drawn to the West when I was a kid, and I I always wanted to practice medicine in US or Europe. And obviously, I love my country, and I want to do a lot for my country, like raise funds and you know donate money for different charities and do a lot of social work. However, I wasn't really comfortable growing up in India because the population in India, I mean, you know that India, after China, India is the second most populous country in the world. And the population, the traffic, the corruption, I just wanted to be away from everything and, you know, live in a more secluded environment where I could use my talent and blossom, and not let the educational system or any of the let any of the there's corruption and there's so many not so good things about India, and I didn't want to be affected by that. Although I could do anything for my country, like do anything for the upliftment of the people in my country, but I just thought it would be a good move to go to the West just so that I can showcase my talent, because I've seen so many people who are so talented in India, but they're just not able to bloom. I think the progress is being thwarted. They don't get enough opportunities to showcase who they are, to prove to the world what they can do. And I just wanted a platform where I could learn, I could teach people, I could just show them what I can do and prove myself.
So, if I'm right, you had your undergrad in India,
I did, yes, I did.
and then after you became a doctor, you decided to come here.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And I have some family in the US as well. I have my cousin and I have my uncle who stayed in the US. And I knew how life is different for them in the US compared to life in India. Life in India is tough and there's fierce competition in India. You can't be good. You have to be the best to survive, kind of.
So, did you encounter any challenges as an immigrant to the United States?
Of course, I did. I think every immigrant who migrates to the United States has to face challenges, and I was no exception to that. So it just all started with trying to find an apartment, and I just found a teeny tiny studio apartment. Being even, I didn't even get the chance to see the apartment before I actually moved in. So that was a challenge. I befriended people whom I met in the elevator to just ask them, hey, could you tell me where's the nearest grocery store, or where I could get a SIM card or stuff like that. So after I moved in, thank goodness I have GPS and everything. I was able to go to college, and I was able to find the shortest possible route to college instead of moving around in circles and taking half an hour to reach the destination. So that was one challenge. The other challenge was stepping out of my comfort zone because I was kind of sheltered and protected by my parents. But in US, I was all by myself. I didn't know anyone. It was up to me to befriend people, be on my own, manage things on my own, be it buying groceries, paying my bills, going to college, doing the laundry, just literally everything. Most of the things I hadn't even done when I was still living with my parents. and it was just being in a foreign land and, you know, accepting, you know, a new culture. You know, it wasn't always easy at times, but I managed it, and I really love being here, I
I
would say.
see that. So apart from not being able to find your way around, loneliness, having to do things yourself, living that, parental confinement and being on your own in a foreign country, was there anything else that was shocking to you about the American culture?
Honestly, there are some people who say that they experience a cultural shock when they come to America. Honestly, I never felt anything like that. I was at ease. I could adapt to American food and American culture pretty much easily, and I'm proud to say that I have a lot of American friends now, and they know that I'm foreign and I'm an immigrant, but they never really treated me as an immigrant because they think I'm not way different from the Americans themselves for whatever reason. I mean, I dress differently, and of course, my skin color and my accent is different from the locals. However, I would just say that my experience has been pretty good for the most part. Although uh, I experienced like I did experience racism in a small, subtle form, but that was it. And I was prepared for that.
How were you prepared for that experience? For somebody who's like, different, who wasn't as prepared, what did you do to prepare yourself for any kind of, you know, um, racism?
I just knew that there are some people who probably are xenophobic. They have the phobia of strangers. And I think that's natural and maybe normal sometimes. And, you can't really trust a stranger or maybe an immigrant, and maybe they were brought up in a different way because is like parental upbringing and cultural influence. So I think it's okay for some people to feel that way. And so I just thought to myself, well, if the majority of the people, they accepted me for who I am, it's okay. There's some people who are not able to accept me readily into the society. And I was like, I was just comfortable with that idea, or as long as it didn't escalate to something more serious or more troublesome, which could be of some sort of danger to me, which could pose like a serious threat to me. So it didn't really bother me that much. It didn't affect me.
Yeah, so just having that, idea or knowledge that people are different, and just as much as you're new to the environment, you're also new to having such people within your space. So you're a stranger to them. So it's going to take time for them to get to know you, be comfortable around you. So that would help you so that when they act in a certain way, you wouldn't read it off as negative, but then them trying to adjust to the system and you trying to also adjust to the system and it works for everybody. But now I'm going to ask you, why did you choose the University of of Alabama at Birmingham, and why did you also choose public health?
So I'll first answer the question as to why I chose public health.